It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I'm talking 5 a.m. in the morning, everybody. It's day 5 of the 5 a.m. Club live recording of this podcast. We did 5 days. We set out to do 5 days, and I say we because you're with me. You're with me, maybe even on the replay, but you're still with me. Here it is, 5 a.m. Friday, and we're working out of the book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. He's written many, I think, great books that really deal with our heart and soul, personal development, self-improvement, which is what we're all about. We are a culture of progress, because that's when we really feel fulfilled. So this is the last day of this series, 5 days at 5 a.m., and I'm actually looking forward to being in the 5 a.m. Club from here on out. And I say that because to be in the 5 a.m. Club with you live, I've got to be up around 4:25, 4:30, and do a preparation the night before. So I can't be in the 5 a.m. Club to be with you at 5. I got to be in the 4:30 a.m. Club. So I'm looking forward to the 5 a.m. Club. I'll be sleeping in an extra 30 minutes. But I'm going to maintain this for, right now I'm going to shoot. I'm going to set goals 30 days in a row, the 5 a.m. Club. And then I'll reassess how that schedule is working out. But from rereading this book, I'm just re-implementing those thoughts and ideas, which always become actions, which changes results. Really, the secret is to have powerful thoughts and be always self-aware that we are here for a limited time. It really is something we should keep in our minds. I often talk about the Stoic philosophy that says memento mori. Remember you're mortal. Remember you're not going to be here forever. Not for any morbid purpose and putting us in a bad state of mind, but putting us in a positive, enthusiastic state that we are still here living. Let's live while we're alive. Take life by the throat. Let's go. All right, the 5 a.m. Club, day 5. And I have I picked out some interesting excerpts from the book yesterday as I was doing my research and rereading the book and picking out different pieces that I thought might go together for our last day here together. So let's look at the first slide that I picked out from the book. And remember, in case you're here for the first time, please go back and listen to the first 1, 2, 3, 4 days. But this book is based on a fictional story that Robin Sharma wrote, setting the stage for a seminar, a business seminar, similar to like a Tony Robbins seminar, and a business strategy seminar, a life strategy really seminar. And these two attendees, the artist and the entrepreneur, they meet up with a billionaire who at first seems like to be like a homeless person. And they befriend each other, and they talk about the different concepts that the head of the person who's giving this seminar is putting out there. They call it the spellbinder. And so eventually the hobo, the billionaire, the person they think is a homeless guy is actually a billionaire who flies them to his private island. He flies them to Rome. He flies them around the world to experience certain places, and in doing so, he puts forth these principles and values based on the foundation of getting up early, mastering your morning to elevate your life, which is kind of the theme of the book, The 5 a.m. Club. If you haven't got it already, I put a link in the YouTube description, and I'm putting the link also in the show notes of the podcast platforms. All right, now I'm going to go back to where the first slide is. The lesson that the billionaire had presented as the three of them rode together. They're riding on a bike now on, I think, one of his private places. The lesson that the billionaire had presented as the three of them rode together centered on the vital importance of balancing the elite personal performance with deep self-renewal for sustained masterful achievement. The Titan explained the value of alternating time in the world pursuing success at the highest level with time in the wilderness recovering, a symmetry needed to ensure a strong harmony between winning at work and richness in life. and to guarantee that his students played the long game around their assets of genius. The billionaire also explained that massive productivity in society without an abundant heart, an authentic sense of joyfulness, and enduring inner peace was no different from the game a hamster plays on a running wheel. It thinks it's moving, yet it remains in a cage. As the early morning rays melted into the lush greenery, the mogul pedaled his shiny red bicycle, talked excitedly, and laughed festive, optimistic, truthful laughs. The kind of laughs we all long to experience more of in our lives. Oh, so true. I think the message there is, spend time, be where you're at. If you're totally immersed in what you're learning, what you're doing, you go at it full force, 100%. And then you're going to have times when you're walking on the beach, you're walking in the forest, you're around nature, you're staring at Niagara Falls, you're touching with your thoughts, your soul, your heart, your spirituality. For me, my God, Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, whoever it is for you, you get in touch with that. It's kind of a balance. He said a symmetry. Symmetry, like in the bodybuilding world, when they judge a bodybuilder, they judge the body with symmetry. In other words, are the biceps in a relatable size to the calves? Is the chest in an equal size to the lats? And so forth, so that the body is in symmetry. It has an appeal, authentic look to it. And so our productive life, our success life, we need to balance that with nature, getting close to the source of the earth, grounding, if you will. And I think that's really important. He didn't really call it balance, but a symmetry between ultra achievement mindset and balancing that with heart set, soul set, skill set, heart set, soul set, a balanced wheel. Get your wheels in balance, your wheel of success. I think that was really an important one to remember, because we're getting up early, we're getting after it. We're starting our day, though, with a quietude, maybe getting into the Bible, the Word, and then, we're getting after what we want to get after to create a legacy of a long, fulfilling life. That kind of goes into the next slide. Longevity really is a key to legendary, he reinforced. This, he told his two appreciative students, is one of the main keys to your rise to iconic. You really must learn how to balance. Okay, now we have balance. Learn how to balance working intensely and brilliantly with deep rest and recovery, so you can remain fresh and strong over a long career. Yeah, you wouldn't want to burn yourself out. We don't want to burn ourselves out, but we want to maintain iconic. I love that word. As you do this, you won't blow out your gifts by hyperextending them. In the same way that some pro athletes blow out their knees, preventing them from ever playing again. The geniuses all know and apply this remarkably important principle. Don't blow out your knee. Don't blow out your geniuses, your gifts that God has given you. You've been blessed with these gifts, and you're going at it 110% intense. You're iconic. And then you have to have balance, time away. You learn, apply. Then you back off and you rest. Rock it back and forth. And that way, you got to be in it for the long game. See, I took some time there away to get some coffee. And that's what I needed. All right, the next slide. Oh, I'm going to have to get close. It's really small print. As the billionaire sipped sweet, dark coffee, that's what I'm having, he explained that what makes the great men and women of the world exceptional, in part, is their implementation of a phenomenon known as supercompensation. Supercompensation. I have a thought there. I'm going to come back. Supercompensation. Phenomena known as supercompensation. Just as a muscle tears when you stress it to the edge of its capacity and then actually grows during the pause of recovery, your 5 assets of genius surge when you actively push them past their usual limits and then allow for a period of regeneration. Mr. Riley pointed to the framework on the paper and said, See, cats, the little-known key to terrific success over the long term lies in a simple word, oscillation. Oh, that's that's the picture I got with the rocking back and forth. Intense, high-intensity work, activity, together with rest and peace. I mentioned it in Sao Paulo, but you're both ready to go deeper. We definitely are, declared the entrepreneur. Get this, the billionaire said. When scientists studied the great Russian weightlifters, they discovered that the secret behind their undefeatability was their work-rest ratios. What does that mean? Asked the artist, as the companions walked their mountain bikes along a trail at the edge of a fabulous vineyard. Your growth happens when you're resting, replied the billionaire in a straightforward way. Makes no logical sense, right? That is a really important lesson that I had to learn actually in bodybuilding when I was trying to get bigger, gain muscles as a kid. I had to learn, when we're in the gym, when we're working out our muscles, that's not when we're growing. We're getting a pump, but we're actually tearing down muscle tissues when we push that muscle contraction to the limit. We're kind of going, progressive resistance means we lift a weight 10 pounds 10 times, and the next time we lift maybe 12 pounds 8 times until we get up to 12 reps. Then we add another couple pounds, and so we keep progressively adding resistance because during the rest periods, the body says, okay, there's been damage, there's been tears to this muscle. Now I'm going to take proteins, amino acids, and together we're going to repair this muscle, but in preparation for the next load that's coming. There was a story about these fishermen who were very strong and they were really well muscled. And they looked at their routines and they were on their fishing boats working intensely on these fishing boats, just lugging and throwing weight around for 3 months straight. And then they would come home to port and they would be 5 months really doing nothing but relaxing. And they found that this is when their bodies were growing. Their bodies were getting in preparation for the next bout out at sea of lifting and moving heavy weights and heavy, intense activity. So it's in our rest periods that we grow. All the great bodybuilders and powerlifters know this. And that's when, during their rest periods, they're putting the nutrients in their bodies and they're resting and letting the muscle repair itself and prepare for the next load that's going to come in the next workout or work session, whatever they're putting their mind and hearts to. It's a good principle to realize, specifically if you're trying to work on your health along with your wealth. When you're working on your health, when you're doing weight resistance, important to have a rest day, especially if you start to get to be midlife like me, 67 years old. That was really a good one. That was a good principle. Let's see if this is I think this is the slide. Okay. Tennis great Billie Jean King said that pressure is a privilege. The billionaire reminded his two students, see, pressure and stress aren't bad. They're not, questioned the entrepreneur. Nope. They're actually absolutely necessary for the expansion of your capacity, voiced the billionaire. You must push your talents hard, the billionaire continued, even when you don't want to. You have to push past your comfort zone. Only then will they grow. Always remember this. The time you least feel like doing something is the best time to do it. And part of the reason for this, as you also now know, is because when you enlarge your willpower muscle in one important area, Your self-discipline in every other area rises with you. Oh, I want to go also back to the super compensation. Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about the law of compensation. You know, whatever you put out there in effort, thought, action is going to come back to you tenfold. That's why when you're in the workplace, you go early, stay a little bit late. Your mind is going to tell you, I'm wasting my time. I'm giving them free time that I'm not getting paid for. No, the law of compensation will come into effect, and you will get more in return than you've put out extra in your work and in your personal life. The law of compensation. That's something to really always be aware of. This is something new in the book. I don't even remember taking this in the last time, but joy as a GPS. I like this. Joy. It's in the Bible everywhere. Be joyful. Rejoice in the Lord always. There's a section in the Bible, I believe it's Philippians 4, and it's from a letter Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus saying, rejoice in the Lord always. And he said, I'm going to repeat, and rejoice always. Cast your cares on God, and the knowledge that God has, the peace of God that transcends all understanding. We can't understand it. God will guard our hearts and minds through Jesus Christ. Which be joyful. And so here's a joy as a GPS. Our positioning system. Number one, people fuel, being around people. We are, even the Stoics knew, the Stoic philosophers knew that we are a people that wants to be in community. We need to be around other people at certain times. People fuel, and that can give us energy. When you model people that you really want to maybe pattern your life after to get similar results they do, and you're modeling what they're doing, their behaviors, that gives you fuel, people fuel, talking to people that are maybe where you want to be, the next level, talking to people that are maybe they want to be where you are, and you're helping them, you're reaching back. That really fuels it. That's fuel, purpose fuel. You have a purpose fuel. If you're really employing your God's gifted genius that you have within you, that's going to fuel you. Place fuel. It's good to change places. People say don't change your place if you want to change your state, or change. All you do is bring your problems with you, and that's partially true. But being in a different place gives you a different perspective. You see different cultures, you see different philosophies, and how different communities are utilizing what they think about and what they do and what results they're getting and how they're living their life. 1, 2, 3, people fuel, pursuit fuel, place fuel, your personal GPS. I like it. I'm going to start keeping that in mind. I'm going to be mindful of that. All right, this is the last. I'm going to end on this. I'm going to end on this slide today. So take it in. Drink deeply from this knowledge. You enter the magic by using your joy as GPS. Before I go on, I'm going to harken back to another book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's by Maxwell Maltz. It's about Cybernetics is a book written by Maxwell Maltz in the 60s. It's about a plastic surgeon. He started to realize that sometimes he would repair someone's scar on their face and it wouldn't change how they acted or felt because they had internal scars. They had a psychological scar. And so he learned that just by repairing the outside did not help with the inside. And cybernetics really means an automatic steering mechanism, like autopilot on a plane or on a sailboat. We have that in it. We have an autopilot for success. We have an auto success mechanism. We just need to pick a place, and then our auto success system will kick in. It'll get us there. Maybe it'll weave left or right. Just like when you're sailing to a destination, you may be off always a little bit here, a little bit there, and you're always readjusting with the endpoint in mind, and your body's and mind's psychocybernetics will kick in. I was just reminded on that when I was talking about the joy GPS. You enter the magic by using your joy as GPS. Use your joy to know ever-increasing amounts of happiness. Trust what makes you feel happy. Your heart knows where you need to be. It's so much wiser than your head. Instinct knows so much more than intellect, and intuition is smarter than reason. That's for sure. Our intelligence is made up of what those around us have taught us. It's limited. It's confined by logic and what's been done before. Your sovereign self knows better. It operates in possibility, not practicality. It's visionary. It's unlimited. That's why I named my Instagram page Cliff Yates Unlimited. We need to be unlimited in mindset and actions and thoughts. Not sure I understand you, said the entrepreneur. Follow your joy, instructed Mr. Riley. Only be around those people who fuel your joy. Only perform those pursuits that feed your bliss. Only be in those places that make you feel most alive. Look, I know it's hard to live this model perfectly, so please see this framework as an ideal to move toward. And like everything else I've taught you, it's a process, not an event. It'll take time, but it begins with being aware of this model and then allowing your joy to be your GPS. Your joy will lead you in the right direction. Your joy will tell you where to go. Be around joyful people. Be around joyful people. That's one concept right there in that last slide that's so important. Well, they say you're a reflection of the five people you're around the most. So make those 5 really good people. Make those people really deep thinkers. Maybe varied in interest, but be around positive, energetic people. It's going to fuel you. It's going to be part of your joy GPS that you're going to use to be legendary, to be iconic. And we're going to end on this today. And I'm so glad you were with me. Maybe not live, but maybe you're with me on the replay. And either way, together, we went around these concepts. We ingested them. And I want you to get the book, The 5 a.m. Club. It may be something you won't implement, but there's going to be principles in there. There's going to be philosophies in this book, similar to what we went over. You're going to recognize what we went over here. And you're going to take those, you're going to think about them, you're going to contemplate, and you're going to put them into action. You're going to implement these ideas. All right, everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Follow the podcast. You know I love you. I'll see you in the next episode.